Hi, hello guys, my name is Mia Marie and this video is about moon house overlays. So say for example, you were to go to astro.com and generate a Synastry chart, also known as a compatibility chart. You would see your birth chart in the middle and then your partner's birth chart superimposed over that. Specific to this video, you're looking for the red crescent moon. That is your partner's moon, and you want to see which house it falls in because that is the area of your life that will be impacted by this person. It will also give you the flavor of the emotional connection that you guys have. To get us all on the same page, the moon is our mood, right? Mood. It is our temperament, the way that we are going to unconsciously react to any situation or circumstance. If our back is up against the wall, how we're going to feel about it is the moon. What we're going to do is probably more of the Mars. But it's also our non-negotiables. This is an area of synastry that I'm not so flexible with, because at the end of the day, the moon wins. I promise you, you have to have those types of experiences and conversations that feed you. Otherwise, you will see unhappy moon things, behaviors start to manifest in your life. Compulsions, addictions, afflictions, body mutilation, but the body will usually give it away every single time. You know, if someone is under eating, overeating, cutting, those are all things that say that we're not getting our needs met. And so I'm not so flexible with incompatibility around the moon because it plays such an important part of our well-being. So without any further ado, so if your partner's moon falls into your first house of identity and self, you get someone who is emotional, the moon, about you. There's something about you that gets me so fired up, is something that a moon person might report. Now this is lovely because you want your partner to be emotional when it comes to you. That is what helps relationships withstand the storms of reality and life. It's something that keeps you bonded and connected together. So it's positive at the end of the day. However, it does present natural trials and tribulations. But to begin with, the positives, the way that the first house person shows up in the world, the style that they have, how they articulate their thoughts and feelings, the path that they're taking and what they're moving toward, what they're trying to accomplish, is something that the moon person will look at and approve of. Kind of like you're checking all of the boxes on my list. And this helps build trust. In fact, the first house and the moon are both unconscious placements. Fight me on it, not right now, because I'm talking about this. As you move through life together and a setback presents itself, you witness firsthand how your partner responds. And they respond in a way that feels like, yes, same, ditto, 100%. And this contributes again to the establishment of trust, but at an accelerated rate. It's like if I ever needed someone to make a call about my life, say I'm in the hospital, I'm dying, and I'm unconscious, I want this person to show up because their instincts is something that I trust. Now, the first house is also about first impressions. So there may be a story in your relationship where the moon person says, when I first saw you, I felt something. Or there was something really impactful about the first time that you guys locked eyes or had a conversation. It left an impression on the moon person. And that is just kind of the entry point, I guess, for the next thing that I will bring up is that, the first house person can trigger the moon person regularly because the first house shows up every day. You open your eyes, the rising sign is on. And if the way that you shine is always highlighting how someone feels, it can be overwhelming. Like, give me a goddamn break. If the first house person feels a particular way, the moon person is soaking it up. The moon is the part of us that is receptive. The first house is the part of us that is shining the brightest and shining all the time, especially if you have the sun here or in any of the fire houses, 1, 5, or 9. And so the moon person is like, I don't know what it is about you, but I feel what you feel, or I have such a strong reaction to you. And the first house person will look at them like, what behavior? What are you talking about? Both unconscious states of being, states of mind, trying to engage with one another. That is That is one of the evolutionary purposes of this overlay. Like, we have a lot of unconscious material. There's a lot of things we're trying to bring into consciousness. This person can help you with that. I think the last thing that I'll bring up very reluctantly, but I have to mention it because duh, is that the moon person can feel tricked sometimes by the first house person. The first house acts as the door to the house that is our psychology. It is our literal skin. It is the book cover, of the story of our lives. And so the moon person can look at it and be like, I love this, yes. And then they start flipping through the pages, or they buy the house and they open the door and the inside is completely different. So if you have a rising sign that is incompatible with your sun, your moon, your Venus, your Mercury, then the moon person can feel like, what the hell is happening? So disoriented and like dizzy. And that can pose as a huge conflict in the relationship. Have you ever seen that meme where the person is wanting to eat chocolate and they cut the chocolate open and it's a sour grape? That is what it's like. It's like what you're promoting is not what's on the inside. Now that is just if the energy doesn't get along well. So you want to look and see how the rest of the chart is playing out and how your energy impacts the other person. But it could go the other way. It could be that you are promoting exactly what you are, and I see it, I like it, I want it, I got it. If your partner's moon is in your second house of possessions, confidence, and values, you can expect these themes to be important in your relationship. This is the way that you guys bond. If you're having stage fright as the second house person, the moon person will nourish you. No, you can do this. You can accomplish anything. If you are hesitating to put your work out there to be seen by the world, or if you want to advertise a specific service that you want to offer, or you're getting a side hustle off the ground, or you're launching your own business, if I didn't already say that, the moon person is unwavering in their desire to support you, to help you become the best version of yourself. They boost your confidence. Now, on the other hand of that, if the relationship is on the fritz and it's falling out, which moon in the second is pretty stable, so even if things do break down, generally it's like, we're just friends, or the relationship has ran its course. There's a stubbornness that tends to arise of you guys not wanting to put this relationship down. So if it's on the outs, the house person can feel like their value or their worth has gone down because the moon person is no longer giving them the affirmations that they need. That is not to say that the absence of the moon person decreases the value of the second house person, but it does say that the second house person will have a stronger reaction to this person withdrawing from their life. The second house has this energy of, I want you. I wanted you because you smelled right. I wanted you because you appreciated the same things that I appreciated. You were a part of my routine. You are a part of my life in a way that I did not see you stepping away from. And so the moon is also pretty gentle to the house person. I think it's lovely. If I didn't already say this, the moon loves being here. And so it's a relationship that offers some stability. There's often enough sameness to keep you guys like doing hobbies together. You guys might go to the coffee shop or go on hikes or do little errands together, or just stay at home and relax and chill. And that is nourishing. It's a very simple relationship. If the moon is in the third house, this is where the mind meets the heart. The house person and the moon person are both teaching each other lessons. We're talking about our emotions. We're talking about the pathology of emotions. We're recommending books to each other and songs to each other that bring words to something that we might feel or experience. On the plus side, you guys give each other the medicine that you need. You guys are asking the right questions together, or you guys have endless questions and conversation flows with ease. The downside of it is that the house person can feel like the moon person is unpredictable. Sometimes the moon person is grateful for what the house person has to say. You named it, you labeled it, you helped me make sense of my heart. The other side is, you hurt my feelings. How could you be so careless, right? Because the moon is constantly in flux and flow. And so in your house of perception and learning, this person's emotions is showing up in an area of your chart that is very logical, or you want to be logical about it, even if it's like a Cancer third house, where you are very emotional. You won't appreciate someone's moon being here because they're destabilizing your thought process in a way that can be helpful or unhelpful. There is this energetic exchange of needing to teach each other something. I'm the student, you're the teacher, I'm the student. And so information, communication is also very important, and perception. I like it. If your partner's moon falls into your 4th house of home, family, and ancestry, you can expect that this is going to be a focal point in your relationship. The moon is the mother, and the 4th house also represents the mother. So there is this unconditional love for one another. It can feel like when you meet, you recognize each other. We've done life before. In a past life, were we family members? Because I just feel like you and I are supposed to build a home together, get married, have a kid. And in fact, because there's so much homey energy, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of your dates are taking place at home. Like you're throwing a barbecue, or you're watching movies, or you're doing home improvement projects, or you guys can just kind of hang out and chill at the house, and that is an area, that's the territory on which you bond, irregardless of what sign is there. You could have a really exciting sign like Leo or Gemini or Sagittarius, and still there is this focus on, should we get married? Like, should we start having kids? I like having you here. But again, it's through the lens of you play a role. Right? Family, everyone has their own role within a family. And so it's not so much about the partnership as a unit. It is about what the partnership can accomplish within the walls of a home. And so home improvement, the moon person can help you beautify your home life, or they might be wanting to give that to you. Say it's a man's moon in your 4th house. It's giving. I will give you a house. I will give you a ring. I will give you kids. I will give you whatever you need to feel as if you are secure. Security will never be an issue. This is similar to the sun, but I do feel like if the sun is here, it is difficult for the sun person to be doing those things. They don't want to be doing it unless it's like a sun in Cancer. If it's like a sun in Leo, it's almost at their detriment. But the moon is like, no, I got this. Like, shorty, I got this. Now, because, the moon represents the mom, the 4th house represents like family and home, this isn't inherently sexy. It is successful. You come together and there's this trust that you guys will figure it out if you so commit to each other. But it's traditional. We tend to see traditional roles. Like, one parent is staying at home raising the kids, and the other one is out making money and making moves, and the rules are clean. Like, they're black and white. You know what to expect. And for some people, if you have a stellium in the 4th, or sun moon in the 4th, or Cancer on the descendant or Cancer rising, this type of engagement, energetic exchange will be important to you. But if you don't have it and there isn't anything else to spice it up, then it can kind of leave you feeling like, boring. I definitely want more. But granted, this is coming through the lens of someone who has a lot of Aries in her chart. So 4th house things only, like that being my primary focus, just would not be my cup of tea. But there is trust, there's reliability, there is a recognition of, having done something together before. But it does feel like, the karmic representation of this actually is that there is some unresolved mother issue here, where we are mothering somebody or they are mothering us. And so it's strange. Like, there is that almost incestual flavor to it. I'm not saying that, you're committing incest by doing it, but it can be a little bit uncomfortable. It's like comfortable to be around this person, but it's uncomfortable to be sexual with this person in a liberated and free type of way. If your partner's moon falls into your 5th house of creativity, self-expression, and passion, then this is an indicator that you guys have some unresolved karma as it relates to romance and being able to keep the flame alive. What I will say is this is exciting. the moon person wants to support your creations, your self-expression, the way that you show up in the world, the personality that you're leading with is one that they are like clapping for and cheering you on. They are a cheerleader for you. There may also be conversations around children or this desire, if you guys are in the process of practicing to make kids, then they might be like, oh my gosh, I don't know why, but with you, I feel like I need to have kids. I want you to be the mother of my kids, or I want you to be the father of my kids. And dates are often playful. The commitment that we have to make in this relationship is I promise to fall in love with you over and over again. I can't promise to always be in love with you, but my goal in this relationship is to create something that is exciting, something that is passionate, because if it's not contained, then this relationship can burn itself out. The expectations are so high because we're bonding in an area of life that is kind of, in terms of romance, it's kind of unstable. Because when things are so exciting all the time, the moment that it's lower or down, we tend to think that something is wrong, or that this isn't the right person, or the moment challenge presents itself and it's not all creativity and self-expression and fun, then we can think we've made a wrong turn here. But you may also have this feeling like, I've loved you before. You have been in bed with me before. And so, yeah, it's fun, but it is a little karmic. If your partner's moon falls into your 6th house, there is this mentoring relationship that can happen where you guys are not on the same ground. Devotion is the main word that comes to my mind. You feel obligated to take care of this person. Like they are a part of your routine now. And something about their energy, moon in the 6th house, it's reciprocal, so it can go either way. But something about this person's energy requires that you be of service to them. There could be a health condition that one of you guys has, or health is always uneasy or uncertain. And so it can be like a mother-child relationship too. This person's emotions play an important part of your day-to-day life. They impact your ability to be productive. But at the same time, there is this quality of being in service to one another, but never on the same level or on the same page. One person is in charge and the other person is like the patient. But in terms of living together, your approach to your day-to-day schedule is similar. So it's not like it's difficult to cohabitate. It's not difficult to come up with a routine, but the routine may actually be founded on the emotions of the moon person, like their specific circadian rhythm. It's lovely because these relationships often prepare us for more serious contractual relationships. That's the difference between the 5th and the 7th house. The 5th house is hot, sexy, passionate. And then the 7th house is commitment and promising to stay for the long term. So 6th house partnerships often come in and teach us how to care about someone other than ourselves, which is a reason why I love it. When your partner's moon is in your 7th house of commitment, marriage, contracts, you can expect this to be a topic of conversation. The moon is the emotional body. The 7th house represents our natural partners. And so what we can tend to see is that the way your partner is responding is like foreign to you. You don't exactly understand what they're saying, why they're saying it, but there's something inside of you that desperately wants to explore that and understand it. It's almost as if you are self-actualizing through this emotional engagement that you're having with your partner. The 7th house isn't sexy, it's not romantic, and it's not deep, but there is this feeling of, I need you. I need you because you see things that I don't see. You feel things that I can't feel, but I trust you enough to explore that. And so we typically want to partner with people who light up our 7th house. And the moon is glowing, right? And so there is this warmth. There is this nurturing energy that this person provides us that is quite difficult for us to even realize that we need. What I tend to hear with clients who have this configuration is, you are everything that I never knew that I needed, or you are everything that I never knew that I wanted. And so this is territory for trust. I don't think that we feel it immediately, but the longer that we stay together the trust just gets stronger and stronger. And once that is established, because there will be definitely trials and tribulations with your ability to accomplish trust. Once it's there, it's easy for you guys to take off and to make those important moves and decisions. This person can hold emotionally the other half of a much larger truth. If your partner's moon is in your 8th house, the 8th house is naturally ruled by Scorpio. And so this relationship is characterized by obsession, merging, some kind of possession. It can feel as if you guys are one. The moon person illuminates and loves and nurtures the part of you that you keep hidden from society. And so say you're like, a witchy occult type person, this moon person's going to come in and be like, yeah, and I love you for it. Like, fuck yes, let's get to work. It can feel like you guys have been married before in a past life, or as if there is something that is binding you guys on a spiritual level. Sex is often used as a form of reaching higher levels of spirituality or enlightenment. It is a transformative relationship and it is extremely karmic. So the circumstances are intense. There are high highs and low lows. There is life before this person and life after this person. And you often you give credit. If you're the house person, you give credit. Well, I guess it can go either way. It goes either way. You can give credit to this person for cracking you open and setting you free. It's like you were this caged bird before and this person had the key and now you're free to roam around and let your freak flag fly. But there's this inability to withhold things. Like the moon person sees into you, or you guys both see into each other in a way that can be received as like intrusive. And as I said before, it creates this level of possession. If you guys do decide to separate, which the cookie can crumble either way, it is a extreme relationship. You guys are often working very hard to make it work and the love is like endless. But if you guys separate, there is that phenomena of, I still feel connected to you. I still feel your feelings. I still feel your thoughts. There may be experiences where you're having a particularly tough day for no apparent reason and your brain wanders to the fact of like, I wonder if they're having a bad day. Separation is difficult. If you actually believe that you are able to like cut this tie or stop loving this person or start holding out hope for this relationship, because that scorpionic quality of not wanting to let go, having been through hell together or having seen each other's hell and kind of met it with this attitude that nobody else really could. Like, I still love you. I still care about you. And so it's an important relationship for sure. If the moon is in the 9th house, philosophy, higher education, and travel, this person will be supportive in your beliefs and your desire to answer very important questions in the world. Maybe they inspire you to go on long distance trips or support some kind of spiritual pilgrimage. It's fun and it's playful and it's expansive. It's not romantic. It is not sexy, but they come in as like a teacher almost, like this is how you have fun. This is how you expand. Love with this person makes your world bigger rather than smaller, almost irregardless of the sign. And so it's fun. It's naturally ruled by Sagittarius, which is expansive. You're focused on bigger things. So the topic of conversation will this is someone who comes in and is like on your first date. Like if you had the option to, what's a Sagittarius question to ask? If you had the option to save the love of your life or the lives of 10,000 people, what would you choose? Like these are the types of conversations that you guys will have, like bringing it back to moral dilemmas, morals, values, what it is that you believe in and subscribe to, and kind of getting off to that in a detached way. But the moon person is typically supportive or instigating those types of conversations. If your partner's moon is in your 10th house of career, public image, overarching mission, it is at the end of the day significant. All of these houses, all of these moon house placements are significant. That's why I did it. It's the 4 corners, the 1st house, the 4th house, the 7th house, and the 10th. But the moon doesn't like to be in the 10th house. It prefers to be in the 4th, so directly opposite. It doesn't want to be in career. It wants to be at home. But what we see, specifically if it is a woman's moon in a man's 10th house, there is this unconditional love and belief that whatever this man is trying to accomplish, he's going to get there. It's unmovable. There is nothing that you can say or do to shake that woman's faith. This man will trailblaze. He will move mountains. And so it can really bolster the confidence and act as the emotional fuel that the man needs to try out new things, take a little bit of a gamble, or to stay late at work. I have seen it where the man's moon is in the 10th house and that support is there, but it's often difficult in a heterosexual, relationship for a man to have his moon here. Because it's like, yeah, honey, like go make that bag, go work overtime, take on all these projects that will support the financial standing of the relationship. But then there is the emotional meltdown of, what do you mean you're working overtime? It's 10 o'clock at night. Why are you still on the computer, organizing all these different projects and meetings? Or why don't we ever get to spend time together? And so at the heart of this configuration, we see the moon person. Their emotions have a direct impact on the productivity of the 10th house person, for good and for bad. It can be easy and it can be challenging, but you will hear yourself, throughout the course of the relationship in both sides. Thank you so much for the support. I could not have achieved this without you. And the other side of it is, for whatever reason, your emotions have made themselves very known at a company that you don't work for. And it's irritating. Emotions just don't belong. In this way, your emotions don't belong here. And it can, at the lowest expression, create a tug of war between your relationship and your career in a way that is it could break you. Because here's this person, your partner, who you obviously care about and you want to make them feel comfortable. But then there is this very important part of your chart where you should not be compromising so much. You should be working hard. You should be busting your ass and getting better every single day. Again, this is not going to land if you have a stellium in the 4th house, or if the relationship has more 4th housey energy, then that advice won't fit you. But if you're a career-driven person, then this will be uncomfortable. If your partner's moon is in your 11th house of social networking, long-term goals and aspirations, and community, there is this fast friendship that happens. You like each other. You like being in each other's company. The moon person will support you in establishing friendships and maintaining those friendships. In fact, if you're dating, you may realize that you guys never go out or rarely go out, just you two. There's always this event or this party or this sporting game that you guys are attending. And there may even be, depending on how everything else is playing out, of course, take everything into consideration, which is so quick to say, but takes a minute. There can be uncomfortability about just being one-on-one. And if you guys are one-on-one, we're talking about conspiracy theories, what's happening in the world at large. It could be what is even happening with the stock market, or what's happening with this marginalized group. The relationship serves to be a vehicle for connection to something bigger than just love, or just that person, or just the relationship. The relationship is in service to something. If your partner's moon is in your 12th house, this is the house of Pisces, unresolved karma, addictions, afflictions, setbacks, hidden enemies, then this indicates that you have had a past life with this person. The 12th house is the most unconscious part of our chart in terms of territory. The moon is unconscious. So basically what we're seeing is two people bringing very unconscious material to a very cloudy environment. There can be a lot of, I don't know why you make me feel this way. I don't know why I feel so pulled to you. I don't know why it's so difficult for boundaries to be established or maintained in this relationship, because Pisces is all about merging and becoming one. So there is this recognition of, I've known you before, but the relationship is often very threatening because they stand to remind us of something. This is the evolutionary karmic perspective, is if someone's moon is in your 12th house, remember what you did wrong. Remember how you self-undid, if that's the right word. Not because you are fundamentally wrong, but because you need to try and dig to figure this out about yourself. The moon person is illuminating the attic of your house. And the house person is oftentimes like, I don't want to go there. Why are you making me feel something? Why are you calling this out in a way that is like a personal attack? You're putting me in an uncomfortable position. And the moon person will often have this like mothering quality of like, sweetie, you got to see it. You know, you have to rip the Band-Aid off. And so unbecoming something is what this relationship is about. Needing to surrender to what is true. And so, you know, in so many ways and shapes, these people, this specific connection is about getting you naked and exposing yourself to yourself. But it's happening in an area that's very difficult for you to access. And so it's tricky territory, but it is definitely fated. And there is this romanticism that tends to happen where, you know, you romanticize the house person can romanticize the moon person, and the moon person feels the appreciation, they like it, but they're not totally seen and their needs are not actually met. And so it creates a gap almost. But yeah, this is my little quick fun series of the moon through the 12 signs. If you liked what you saw, do let me know, like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to work with me, you can find me at willandrising.com/services. Toodles.